Hey, you guys! I don't know what time it is for you, but I have tried to film this vlog about 15 times today. So this is probably going to be a shorter vlog because I have literally filmed, I'm not even lying to you, probably at this point like 6 different segments of 20 minutes, and something continues to go wrong. And I'm like, okay, am I not supposed to be filming this vlog today because I didn't get up yesterday's vlog until midnight, and I'm not going to miss a day. I'm going to do this. But like, in one, I was like at Starbucks holding my credit card so you could see the numbers. Not that I don't trust you guys, because I totally do, but I obviously don't want my credit card numbers out there for the world to see. And then it's just been like crazy little stupid things that have happened. Like the camera like got too hot at one point and just shut off, and right in the middle of me telling a story, and then I didn't know where to pick up because I didn't know where it had stopped. Because my camera doesn't stop and turn off, it like just stops. And so I can't tell if it's like, unless I like get right up in on the red button, which when I'm driving I don't like to look that close to the camera. So anyway, let me give you a recap of my day. So today was PB's 11th birthday! And I even had scenes of like me and PB hanging out today, and then like Alex giving him his birthday presents, and because Alex bought $62 from Walmart of birthday things, and he got this like Easter basket that was like this dog face on it. It was so cute, this like plush Easter basket. And then he bought him all these stuffed animals and treats, and PB didn't know what to do. It was so cute. He got so excited. I'll pull over here if I can in a second. I'll show you the video because Alex like took a video of it and it's super cute. But anyway, yeah, and so there was that. And then, so PB and I just hung out all day today, and I did a live stream, and that was super fun. If you guys were in there, and if you haven't seen it, I uploaded it. So, I know you guys like the daily vlogs. The live streams are kind of like a live version of the daily vlogs, except I'm not talking about such in-depth things, and I talk a lot to the people that come in there. So if you haven't had a chance to go into my live streams, I do post them, so go check them out. Yeah, and I had a really good live stream today, and then I just kind of like tooled around and just didn't do a whole lot of anything. And let's see. Okay, so then I went, okay, so I'm trying to think about my day. I went and got coffee, and I filmed during that, and that's when the camera just shut off. And so I didn't realize that it shut off, and I had no idea like when, and I didn't want to like fast forward through 20 minutes of video to see like, or filming, or is it video? What is it? Yeah. To see like when I had stopped. Was that at Starbucks or McDonald's? Because when I got a Diet Coke, it was at Starbucks that it was at Starbucks with the computer, or Starbucks with the credit card, and it was McDonald's when it just shut off and stopped filming. So those are 2 pieces. And then when PB and I were just playing around the house today, my phone kept on going off. That was a mess. And then I had to take a phone call, and like I took a phone call and like thinking it was somebody that it wasn't. And then I started talking, and like I said their name, and I didn't want to edit it out of the vlog, and it's not, I couldn't say it's stupid, but like I'm very careful and I don't edit these vlogs. So then I just was like, throw that piece out. So that was 3 pieces. I mean, like legit, I was like, I'm not supposed to make this vlog today. This is crazy. But anyway, I'm making this vlog. So here I am. And then I went and picked up Tanya, and Tuesday night's our meeting night, and we go to a certain meeting. And then Alex was out to dinner with his friend that's visiting from San Francisco. She leaves on Saturday, so he went out to dinner with her and some other people because it's my meeting night. And then by the time that I was out of my meeting, he was already home, so I was hungry. So Tanya and I went and got something to eat. We went to this place called Wolfie's, which is really cute. And I had a chicken salad sandwich, and I had a side salad. So I'm kind of like really wanting to eat healthy and get into shape, and I just said hold me accountable, which is really funny because nobody has. And but I'm kind of like diets suck is where I'm at this point. Do you ever feel like that? Like diets just suck. Like, and I know that everybody's like, it's healthy living. It's just so hard for me. Like, I just love to eat. Like, I don't want to be that person that comes on YouTube and complains about being fat, and then I want to lose weight, and then I'm dieting and living healthy for 3 days. And I did that, you know, with that other channel, which I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with yet. And then I, like, just stopped, and then, like, I just don't want to be that person. You know what I'm talking about, those people on YouTube. There's so many of them. I felt like when I was, like, really, like, eating... I watched these guys for a long time called the Light Twins. Do you guys know who I am? They're, like, raw foods diet people. I did a raw foods diet for 30 days. Can you guys even believe that? Like, you see me eat the worst food every day. I was a vegetarian for a long time, but then, like, 3 years ago, I did this raw foods diet for 30 days. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do this for 30 days. I want to see how I felt. I felt incredible. I felt so good. And, I'm gonna pull in here and show you this video. I'm pulling into the gas station. Yeah, so if you've ever thought about doing a raw foods diet, like as a cleanse or something, or even just to live that way, it's like super healthy. I felt so good, but it didn't stick. Oh my God, the Sun Chips and the Krispy Kreme people are both at, this is so cute, you guys. I almost cried watching this. See, do you see it? It says, happy birthday, Pee-Pee. You ready?
Happy birthday, Pee-Pee. Happy birthday! Yeah! Look at all your gifts. What is that? What is that? Look at it.
He is so excited.
Happy birthday, yeah! Look at all your gifts. What is that? What is that? Look at it.
Pee-Pee's favorite toy is his opossum. Do you see this bug in here? Ugh, I'm so over it. It's been like in my car all day long. Pee-Pee's favorite toy is this opossum, and Alex bought him another one. What is this? Oh. So anyway, yeah. I'm deleting. As we speak, I'm deleting emails. Aren't you guys so excited? You're like, Peter, do an ASMR video. Do you guys know what ASMR videos are? So ASMR videos are like when people talk like this and they whisper into the camera, and then they're like, and they do stuff and they like, they do like the funniest stuff. Like they, but they're not meant to be funny. Like they're relaxing to people, right? There is this girl, there's like, okay, so there's like 10 major ASMR channels that all have like 1 million subscribers. And there's this girl, and so many people like that I know that are big YouTubers are like, I think they're so relaxing. Like I listen to them before I go to bed. They're like, you totally have the perfect voice for an ASMR video. I'm like, are you crazy? I'm not doing ASMR videos. They're like, oh my God, you have the perfect voice for it. I'm like, no, I really don't. And, which I think is so funny that people say that to me. But anyway, so they're like this one girl who literally has millions of subscribers. She like takes like makeup brushes and like rubs them against the microphone and makes like 3-minute videos. Who thought of this stuff? Like, why can't I think of that stuff? It's genius. Who thought these videos would get millions and millions and millions of views? Like, that's crazy. You know those videos aren't getting demonetized. There's nothing sketchy about them. Like, you know, which is funny. But like, I've had a lot of people reach out. I've had a lot of, like, this is really kind of crazy. I've had a lot of publishers reach out to me lately for my booktube channel, and like, it hasn't like happened to me much like on booktube, which I'm kind of surprised. I mean, my channel's not teeny tiny, it's not huge, but by any means, but it's not like tiny, but I'm like surprised. I have a lot of like authors that reach out to me, like individual authors, and it's so sad because like, I know as an author how hard it is to like reach out to somebody and like write them a personal email and say like, hey, would you review my book, and blah blah blah, whatever. And you know, to be really honest, the really hard thing about it is, as like a booktuber, is I like to read what I like to read, and so it's really hard to say to an author, your book doesn't sound interesting to me in the least, right? I mean, it's really, I would never say that to somebody. So I always try, and a lot of times, like literally 90% of the time that people contact me, their books are like fantasy. And I mean, anybody that watches my channel on the regular, my booktube channel, knows I don't read fantasy, like very rarely. Like this year I read Marissa Meyer's Cinder. I'm reading the Lunar Chronicles, but like I don't, and Harry Potter, but like other than that, like I just don't read fantasy. I don't love it. It's not my thing. I love contemporary. And so, or literary fiction. I do love horror and zombie books though, but these, I'm talking fantasy, like, you know, set in some far off land and they all have superpowers. I don't love that stuff. Like, it's just not my gig, but so many YouTubers love it. So many booktubers love it. So I always try to, like, when somebody reaches out to me, find like, somebody that would review their book, somebody that I think they're interested in. And what's interesting to me is I'll get like a two-paragraph email that's like very concise, and then like I will say, you know, like I'll write them back like a paragraph, and I'll say, you know, I'm, you know, really sorry, your book is not something that I typically read and review, you know, but if you're interested, I can send you the name of, you know, some other booktubers. Here, check out Connor O'Brien and Ginger Reads Laney and, you know, like Richard's books, and, you know, I'll give them like 4 or 5, you know, people that they should contact that read those kind of books. And I legit will either like not get a response, or I'll get like thanks, not even signed. And I'm like, you know, like, I don't think that's super professional, but like, that's just my 2 cents. When I was like, my book came out, I contacted every high school in Indiana saying that I wanted to see if I could come and speak to like an English class about it, or like how to write a book or anything, you know, gay straight alliance groups, because my book is LGBT themed. It has like a main character that's gay. And it's not a coming out novel. Like, people are like, it's a coming out novel. I'm like, it's not, he's already out. It's not a coming out novel, and he's totally okay with being gay. Like, that's the whole point of the book. Like, not every teenager has a horrible coming out experience. Like, this kid's, that's, his story is about his grief over his brother's death, which you find out in the first couple pages, so I'm not ruining it for you if you want to read my book, which is listed below, the Before Now and After Then by Peter Monn, available on Amazon. Available on iTunes. It is actually available on iTunes. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Audible, iTunes. So anyway, everywhere. Other places too. But somebody reached out to me today, and well, a couple people, I got like 3 emails all about stuff today. And I got this author that reached out to me, and I don't want to say too much about it because I want to read the book. Actually, he reached out to me, and he is a gay blind author that wrote a book about being completely technologically free for, like, not technologically, but used no internet or anything like that to help him, like, get through life for 30 days, right? And so he, like, got a landline phone and would just read, like, paper books, like Braille, and he wrote his experience, and I was like, oh my God, like, now this is a book I want to read, right? And I got so excited about it, and he emailed me tonight. I need to email him back because he wants to read my book. He's like, hey, would you review my book and I'll review your book? I'm like, yeah, totally, but like, you don't have to review my book. I would love to review your book. And so it's really cool, like when people reach out to you because they're like interested. And it's also funny, like somebody contacted me about my Chuck Palahniuk's Fight Club review that I did, because I did a whole series where I read all of his books last year. I made it through about one, the Fight Club, and I have lots of really great ideas. I just don't stick with them. Have you not figured that out yet? But this vlog is not one of them. This is day 105. I have stuck to 105 days of vlogging every day, and I am very proud of myself. I'm almost a third of the way through vlogging every day of this year, and I've loved every minute of it. So, are you guys gonna buy my next book when it comes out? Like, seriously, you should. It's gonna be really good. No, but like, seriously, do you wanna pre-order it? Like makeup palettes? We don't do that really in the book world. I mean, kind of you do, but like not when like you're from a small publishing house like mine. If I got everybody that watches this vlog to buy one of my books, I would be so happy about that. That would be like, oh my God, that would be such a successful sale. It's really interesting, like what they consider like a good sale. And I think it's something like, it's so much less than what I thought it was. Like on your first book, like if you sell like 500, like in your first year, like that 500 books, okay, that's considered a good sale. And I sold like shit tons way more than that, right? And I'm so, like, it meant so much to me. I really could not believe it, honestly. And somebody in a Twitter stream the other day that was just dragging me said, I heard his book sucked and nobody liked it and he couldn't even sell one. And I thought, well, that's a lie. But I will say this, even if I had never sold one book, if I never made a cent off of my book, like if I had only, because it's not like I made a lot. I mean, let's just be really honest, okay? That was, I mean, it's not, the book, people think like, you know, unless you are like Danielle Steele or like Jackie Collins, poor Jackie Collins, or like, you know, John Grisham, or like one of those people, or James Patterson. I mean, he's got it figured out, but I don't love his books. But unless you're like somebody like that, and you're just putting out books all the time, and you're getting like, you know, major deals with Simon & Schuster and Penguin and places like that, you're not going to get rich off of writing books. You just aren't, you know? Like, there's very few authors that know what they're doing, and they can make a lot of money off of selling books. Now, I think in the young adult community, it's a little bit different now because of BookTube. I think BookTube has changed the game because BookTube is really, to this day, I mean, these BookTubers, you know, if you have 5,000, 2,000 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, I mean, 1,000 subscribers on BookTube is considered like a big BookTuber, like somebody to be like reckoned with. And then I'll go all the way to people that have, you know, 250,000 subscribers, like, or 300,000, like Christine at Pole and Banana Books, and Natasha, and Jesse the Reader, and Benjamin of Tomes, and those people. And these are all young kids, you guys. They're like 22, 23, and they're like dictating like what books are going to be popular. Crazy, isn't it? I mean, like, that is absolutely crazy. And they almost exclusively read young adult. So I think it's really changed the world. The other thing is that when I was, you know, young and in high school, college, like, there weren't a lot of really great young adult books to read. I mean, sure, like Flowers in the Attic and the V.C. Andrews series, but I mean, there weren't like tons, like, you know? And I think that, like, J.K. Rowling really changed the whole industry of writing when she wrote the Harry Potter books, because I think she set in motion this new generation of people that love to read. And so I think that, you know, her giving all of this money away, do you know she's the first billionaire that ever lost her billionaire status because she gave so much money away? I think that is incredible. But anyway, I mean, her, like, writing these phenomenal books, sure, I think that's amazing. But on top of that, like, how many people she got interested in reading, you know, and writing and telling stories and getting excited about books. Like, it's awesome, you know? I just love it so much. And, so I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see where the future of writing goes and books. But I will say this. It was like just enough for me to have my book finished. Like, I'll never forget the night I finished it. People ask me a lot if I smoke. And I remember, like, and I do sometimes. I still smoke sometimes. But I remember, like, okay, so if you read the back of my book, I dedicated it to all kinds of people, but the last person I dedicated my book to was Pee-Pee. And because I would write every night, and he would lay on his little bed beside me, you know, and like every hour I'd be like, you ready? You want to go outside, buddy? And we would go outside and we look at the moon, because I wrote it in April. And so April, 3 years ago, I wrote it. And exactly. And we would go outside, and I remember that last night. And what's really interesting about my book is that I wrote the last page. I wrote the last chapter first. So when I got to that last chapter and I was editing it and I wrote it, I rewrote the last paragraph. And I just was like, I can't believe I did this. All my life I had wanted to write a book, you know? And it's not the greatest book in the world. And I don't claim it to be. And it's not the greatest story, and it doesn't have the greatest characters. But I'm really proud of it. And my mom would be really proud of it. And I remember I walked outside and I lit a cigarette, and Pee-Pee was running around, and it was like almost a full moon. And I remember I looked up and I said, Mom, I did it. I did it, Mom. And it really had nothing to do with me getting it published or, like, you know, winning an award or like making $1 million off of it. It was like I had written a book. You know, I had told a story from beginning to end. It was so powerful to me, you know? It was like, I don't know. God, you guys, I hate you for always getting me to cry. It was like this dream I had always had been fulfilled. And I think what happened after that really was that, like, I always tell writers, like, they ask me, like, what's the best advice? I say, once you finish a book, go to sleep and start your next one the next day. Because what happened was, I then went into the process of editing, which was fine, but, like, I'm talking about when I finished my book that night. It was like I couldn't get out of that story for a while. I was really stuck in it. I love, if you've read my book, I'm going to ruin this for you a little bit if you haven't, but, like, I love I love the romance that is Rusty and Nanny in the book. It's a very real romance. People said it's insta-love, but a lot of people criticized it because there's insta-love in it, like they fall in love that quick. But I really believe that. And, you know, in every relationship I've been in, all 3 major relationships I've been in, happened that quick. They were all insta-love. You know, people ask me all the time, how soon did you know that you were in love with Alex? Like, I can tell you that probably that first dinner, I looked across the table at him and I was like, I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. Like, I can just tell, you know? And with my ex, Sean, it was very similar to that. I will, you know, I can remember we, like, talked for 3 hours on the phone, and then the next night he came up for a date, and from Seymour, and I just was like, he used to wear this cologne from the Gap. It was like called like Green or Grass or something like that. I could just smell it. And I was like, oh my God, like, I want to be with this person forever, you know? And my boyfriend before that, Jared, it was very similar to that. I met him on Halloween night, and I remember I just, like, the whole way home talking to my friend Krista, I can't believe I just called her that. Talking to my friend Krista, I just was like, so insta-love to me is very, very real. And the way that they deal with life events in the book to me was very, very real. And so their story to me, although it is quick, it is a quick story, it just felt real. It just felt right, you know? And I love the character of Rusty. People ask me all the time, they're like, did you model him after Alex? I'm like, do you know my husband? Because that you would know that that was not the case. No, I mean, my husband's awesome, but Rusty is the ideal. And, but one thing that is really funny is, like, people ask me a lot, they're like, are you a lot like Danny? And I'm like, no, I'm more like Rusty, and I really am. But, like, Danny is very aloof in the book, and, like, a lot of people said I didn't even really feel like I got to know Danny's character at all, who's the main character, his personality. And, I almost kind of think like I was afraid to get real close to Danny in the book. Like, it's weird when you write a book, you become very close to your characters. You know, it's almost like I think like acting must be, that you like almost become like that part of that character. And, you know, like writing's very similar to that. It was almost like when I would take breaks, you know, from writing, it was like I'd be like thinking of a scene in my head, and it was almost like Danny was speaking to me and being like, no, that's not how it was, or that's not how it went. And it was interesting, and I really had a hard time letting him go. And then the character of Cher in the book, people either loved her or hated her. I had people ask me to write an entire novel just about her. And then other people said they hated her. And then other people thought that Danny was a shitty friend to her. And it's interesting because it's like, it's very similar to YouTube in that, like, you create this thing and then you put it out there into the world, and then you really have no control over it. You know, it's like if you think about The Scarlet Letter, you know, and how many times that book has been read and evaluated in classrooms, and all the different theories that have come up from it, and all these different things, you know, and it's like no control over that, you know. So who wrote that? Nathaniel Hawthorne? No control over that, you know, as a writer, as an author, over what somebody does with it. It's like you have a baby and you do your best and you raise it, and then you put it out into the world. And, you know, society also has a lot to do with affecting the outcome of that child and that becoming an adult. And it's kind of the same thing with a book, you know. It's like weird. It's like some people came up with shit in my book, and I was like, where did you come up with that? Like, and some of it was great, and others of it was just like offensive. I was like, where do you see that? You know, like, I didn't see that at all. And, you know, and it's an anti-bullying book, but I didn't like set it out to be. I didn't even know that. I'm gonna turn this light off for a second because I don't know if this is a police officer behind me or not. I didn't even know if it was gonna be a bullying book when I started it. I just kind of started writing some of my truth into it, and no, it's not. And I ended up telling a story about, you know, bullying in there. But his mother is very much my mother. I mean, his mother is very much who my mother was. And to some degree, the dad, although balding and my dad's not, is very much my dad, you know? And it was so funny because my dad wrote a review on Amazon, and you just go check it out, it's funny. And he said something to the effect of like, this book is not based on, while I loved this book, it is not based on fact. I never had an affair on Peter's mother or something like that. Because that's kind of, it's all, you guys, I'm not ruining anything for you. It's all in the first chapter of the book, but I love the book, you know, I'm so proud of it. And, it's like when you look back on your life and you think, what things will I be really, really proud of in my life, you know? And for me, like, number one will always be my sobriety. And I think after that, I don't really know how to number them, but I know that there's a lot of things I'm really proud of. I can't even look back at my education today and say that I'm super proud of it, because I'm gonna pause this for a second because I think that the camera is about to shut off because we're like right at about 30 minutes. So I'll be right back in two. Okay, so I wouldn't even say necessarily that my education is one of my proudest things, because to be really honest with you, I just knew that if I wanted to be a counselor working in a treatment facility, that I needed to get a master's degree. And while I worked very hard getting my master's degree, I'm not so much proud of that. I don't know how to explain it, but like, I will tell you what I am proud of is that in high school I graduated with a 1.86, In my undergraduate degree, I graduated with a 2.3. Most of that was rescued in my last year and a half after I got sober. And I graduated from graduate school, I think with like a 3.540, almost a perfect score, minus one class that I took that I just did not do well in. It was a statistical research class. You know, so like I wouldn't say that. I would say my relationship with my mother, I'm extremely proud of. I would say that I have very strong, maybe sometimes too traditional, morals and values. Yet I don't allow them to judge others on their life. I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of the fact that when I mess up in life, I can own my shit and take responsibility for it, because I think that's a hard thing to do. And I didn't get there overnight. That was a long road for me to get there, you know? I'm very proud of writing a book. I am very proud of my YouTube stuff. I know that we're supposed to act humble and like, oh, who me and you like me and all that stuff, but I am, you know? It's like every once in a while you make a video and you're like, that's the video, you know? Like that one. And for me, it's never the videos that everybody else would think. It's not the videos that get, you know, 20,000 views or 100,000 views and I sit there and talk shit about Jeffree Star or something. Like, okay, those videos are easy to do for me. I can sit and talk shit with the best of them. It's never those videos. It's always the, like the one I did about, like yesterday, like he's a good friend. Like I really liked that video. Or reading The Lonely Doll on my BookTube channel. That's like one of my favorite videos. You know, or it's interesting because that's a question that you hear a lot. Like, what's your video that you're most proud of making? And I made a video a long time ago. It hasn't gotten actually a lot of views on it, but it's called something like How to Stop Bullying. And I show all these pictures from like first grade all the way through high school. You guys should go check it out. It's probably from October. It was really a painful video for me to make. I just like choked on something, but anyway, choked on my own words. But I'm very proud of that video. And I have to say, in my YouTube career of almost a year, I'm most proud of this vlog because, like, I never thought I would just get on camera and just be like, I mean, anybody that sits there, like, this is where, like, I don't even get into the argument with people. When they say, if you go to certain people's videos that they've made about me and you read in the comment section, he is manipulative, he is dishonest, he is a nasty human being that is manipulating all of these YouTubers, he is disingenuous, he's a liar. You know, when you go and you read those comments, they do absolutely nothing to me. Because what that tells me is one thing. They do not watch this channel. Because how you can get on a camera for 40 minutes and completely manipulate the truth to lie about who you are as a person, on or off camera, do it for 40 minutes, okay? There's no way. And anybody that watches my videos and that I every night do 40 minutes of driving around or throughout my day knows I just sit on here and tell stories, foolish stories about, you know, laying down in my mom's bedroom while she's smoking cigarettes and watching the Late Time movie, or, you know, going to Beaver Island, Michigan, or, you know, going to my aunt's house after she passed away with my cousin and sitting in the basement. Okay, so I honestly have no idea what I was talking about because yet again, my camera just shut off right in the middle and was too hot. It said internal temperature too high because when I film it like for too long, it does that sometimes. Plus I have it like right on top of like where the heater is in the car, and I thought I had it off, which I didn't. I had it on. So I don't know what I was talking about. I was talking about things that I'm most proud of in my life. sometimes I'm most proud of just my simple life, you know, like, I think so many people are driven to have more, you know, and that they think material things mean something, and, you know, it's interesting. It's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love to have nice material things, and I love to travel and stay in, you know, nice hotels and all that kind of stuff. Who wouldn't, you know? But, like, the older I get, like, I've actually been like this for quite some time. It's not just the older I've gotten. It's just like I realize how meaningless that stuff is, you know, and that it's really interactions that you have with people. Like, memories are really, I mean, I know it's corny and cheesy to say, but it's the truth. It's like, memories are so valuable and priceless. It's like, you know, like when Tanya and I drive around, we just like tell old stories. It's like, that's so much more powerful and so much worth. It's worth so much more than any object or, you know, thing I could own. And while I like all that stuff, I mean, anybody that says I don't like nice things, really? I mean, okay, I like nice things. I'm not gonna lie and act like I don't. But I don't need them. I don't desire them as much as I used to, you know? I don't covet them, and I think it's really sad when I have a lot of sadness for people that need to be consumed by things like that, you know? It's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I love all that stuff, you know? It's fun, it's fun, it's nice, you know? But, like, I mean, I don't need it. We don't need it, you know? And magazines and movies and YouTube videos and all this stuff push us to think that we need it because we want it. And then, you know, it's like, but do you really? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather go on vacation for 2 weeks with Alex and stay in the cheapest shithole in town on vacation, you know, I don't know, on beaches somewhere, you know, than have to have one really nice item or something. I mean, that doesn't really, what are you going to do with it? Just look at it? I don't know. I'm just kind of today, to be honest with you, proud of the person that I've become. Because I really never thought, like, I don't know how to even say this. Like, I don't feel like I'm the greatest person in the world, but I'm a lot more than I thought I would ever amount to. And, like, I'm proud of my marriage, you know, even though it's struggling. I'm proud of the fact that we're willing to get help to fix it because we want to make it last. I'm proud of, you know, my family that I have, you know, with his family and my family, and, you know, my relationship with my cousin Caroline. And I'm proud of the fact that I was sober and able to be present for my mother's death, and I was able to be present for my aunt's death, you know, and that was an honor, you know, to be present during that. And, you know, I'm just, like, really happy that I, like, woke up one day and allowed myself to show up to this gig called life, because it is so cool, you know? And it's tough sometimes. God, life is so tough, you know? You guys send me so many messages of shit you're going through, and it breaks my heart. Like, I don't even know what to say sometimes. People send me paragraphs on Snapchat and, you know, Twitter and stuff telling me the things they're going through, and sometimes I'm just like, hang in there, you know? Like, I try to always give a couple sentences that are encouraging, because it breaks my heart. And I know you're gonna be okay. I know you're gonna get through it. I know that, because I've been through shit too, and I got through it. And, you know, and if I can tell you, and then you can tell somebody else the next time that you meet somebody that they're going through some shit, and you can say, hey, I was going through some shit, and I got through it. You know, you'll get through it. You'll be okay. And that person can pass it on. And, you know, eventually, people start figuring out, hey, from one person to the next, we can get through stuff, you know? Life is hard. Life is tough. But life is beautiful too, you know? And I wouldn't take back those tough moments. You know, I wouldn't take back today the breakups and the deaths and the sickness, and it hurts, you know? It really, really hurts my soul. But it makes it all so much more meaningful. It's interesting because I'm not going to say who this is, but there's somebody that's followed me on my channel for a very, very long time, and I adore this woman. And she gets very caught up in the drama sometimes of YouTube, and she found out that her husband had spots on his lung, or shadows on his lung, or whatever that is. I don't know, shadows or spots. And she sent me this very endearing snap, and I think sometimes you guys have no idea, like, this is where I so believe in timing and synchronicity, that, like, the day that she sent it to me, I so needed to hear what she said. And what she said is, you know, I come to YouTube to escape. I come to YouTube to get away from the drama of my life. I don't need more drama. And she was like, you know, and then she told me what had happened, and she said, you know, like, I really realized in this moment how petty a lot of this stuff is, and that, you know, my husband and my family is the thing that matters most. And it's so true. You know, it's like, the day that I found out my mom's diagnosis and that she probably would never leave the hospital alive, life changed for me that day. You know, everything slowed down, clock stopped ticking, and I really realized in that moment that, like, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, he keeps on always talking about his mom. Well, it's my vlog, and I'm going to talk about my mom when I want to, because I've learned a lot through the process, and I'm thankful for that. But, you know, time kind of slowed down and stood still for a moment. I can remember myself standing in that hospital when I walked downstairs, and it was interesting because I had brought my mom for some testing like 2 weeks before, and she was still fine. But that was like one of the last like lucid moments that she had when I took her home. And I sat in the waiting area of the hospital, the hospital that my dad has worked at his entire life. And it's beautiful downstairs. And they had this piano player, and they were playing that song Claire de Lune, and I love that song so much. And that was the same song that the piano player was playing when I left the day that I found out my mom would she would never come out of the hospital. And it really put things in perspective. I think you could have thrown anything at me at that day. I think you could have said to me, you know, you're going to get fired from your job, and I'd say, I don't care, who cares? I think you could have said to me, you know, like, I don't know, there's not really anything you could have said to me at that point that would have been more important than my mom, you know, that would have been more important than that moment. And I think I realized in that moment how serious and how very, like, poignant that moment was in my life, and I didn't want to miss it. You know, I wanted to be present for that moment. No matter how painful it was, I wanted to be present. And, I think that's such a gift, that awareness, you know, that you want to be present for life. So to that woman out there that always sends me the funny snaps, you know who you are. Thank you for that. And when she snaps me, I always try to tell her that I'm praying for her and I'm thinking of her. And I am, and I don't know that that's enough, but and I know how hard things are, but she'll get through it. Her family will get through it. Hopefully, there won't be a bad scare, you know. I don't always jump to the worst case scenario anymore either. I live through it in my head, so I'm prepared for it, but I don't jump to it. I have been doing this thing, though, lately, that, and you guys should all go to your local half-price books or your local, I don't know, thrift store, or what do they call bookstores in England that are like cheap? Oh, what do they call them? God, I love it so much. It starts with a C. Charity shops. Go to your local charity shop and get those little meditation books that I have. Just find one that fits for you. I don't care what it is. It could be like flower sayings of the day or positive quotes, or it could be something religious or something 12-step based or whatever. You know, they got quotes for women, they got meditation books for women or men or whatever you are, mothers, wives, sisters, you know, just daily this, daily that. But anyway, I love those books because they always give you something to think about. Sark, S-A-R-K, is my all-time favorite motivational writer for women. Sark, S-A-R-K. Write that down. Her books are amazing and so colorful too. But anyway, for the last, let's say 2 or 3 days, I've been sitting outside with a cup of coffee in the morning, and I've been reading those. And then I just sit there for a moment. I just watch the sky, and I watch, you know, the kids play in the street, and the older couples walk by, and I just enjoy 10 minutes of just being present. You know, no phone, no distractions, no computer, just 10 minutes of me and the world. And it's like so powerful, you know? And I try to do it before I go to bed too, because I take the dogs out. Like that's the last thing I do is take them out and then we go to bed. Because like when I get home, Alex will have been asleep for, you know, whatever, because I was actually laying there talking to him and he fell asleep and started snoring while I was talking to him. I was like, oh, I guess I'm that exciting. I wasn't telling him anything funny. I was actually showing him videos of Christine and Elijah. I realized watching the videos, I don't think she's as funny as I thought she was. I watched like 5 of her videos sitting there in bed showing them to Alex, and he didn't laugh at any of them, and I kind of found myself not really laughing either, and I thought, how does she have 500,000 subscribers already? Like, she's funny, but she's not as funny as me. No, I was joking. But, so I was telling Alex about like one of her videos, and I look over and he's like that real slow snore, you know? I was like, oh, Peter, you're putting the whole internet and your husband to sleep with your stories. It was kind of sweet though. And Tucker's like really the only one that like plays with those stuffed animals. Like he bought them all for PP, but PP will play with them for like 2 minutes and then he gets bored real quick. And so Tucker though, oh my God, Tucker loves them. Oh, he's so sweet. He just lays there and plays with them. He's such a good boy, you know. Tucker's such a good boy. And I love dogs so much. They just make me so happy. What was I gonna say? I have like lost my mind tonight. I keep on fading off. Somebody said to me I was talking about the meditations, and I always do that. Like somebody said to me last week that I'm stressed out, but like I'm so not stressed today. I am like so calm. I've had the greatest day ever. Like it's just been so peaceful today. Like yesterday, not so much, but today, like has been the total counterpart of it. Like yesterday was today's evil twin, so to speak, you know, like I've just had such a great, magical, kind of just calm, serene day today. But it's interesting because the last thing I do at night is I kind of stand outside and, you know, when I'm taking the dogs outside and I look at the sky and, you know, just think about things, my day. And I learned this trick. I read this book called Magic I think it was by Rhonda Byrne or Melody Beatty, I'm not sure, but it's called Magic, and only one of them wrote it, so it's either one. But it's 30 days of practicing gratitude in your life. This book changed my life, like literally it did. I did every exercise every day for 30 days. It really helped me. And I mean, it's hard to practice gratitude every day for 30 days intensively and not look at your life a little differently. I should probably pull that book out again and maybe do it again. That would be kind of fun. And but anyway, one of the things that she has you do in there, and this won't ruin it because it's like an activity book. It's like but anyway, one of the things that she has you do is she has you find like a stone, like just on the street, like a rock or something that you like, that kind of stands out to you, and then you keep it by your bed, and then every night you hold on to it, like before you're going to bed, and you like think about it. I actually took the rock and put it downstairs, so it's not by my bed anymore, but because I'd always reach for my glasses and it would be the rock and stuck. But or a shell or a little button or a pen or whatever you want, you know. And then you like hold on to the rock and you think throughout the day of like all of the good things that happened to you, and then you pick like in your head what was the best thing that happened to you, and then you think about that as you go to bed. And really what it does is it trains your head, it trains yourself, your mind and your brain to think good thoughts before you go to bed at night, to practice gratitude as you're falling asleep. Because a lot of us go to sleep like rattling off lists and, oh, I have to do this tomorrow, I have to do that tomorrow, I have to do this. Well, what I found that it did is it really slows down my brain. It makes me not think that way, which I still do that sometimes. I like keep notes in my phone, and if I like put it in my phone, then I don't have to think about it anymore, right? But what it's done is it's really allowed me to just think back on like all of the good things that happened during the day. And I found like when I go outside and I take the dogs out right before we go to bed, like I just kind of look up at the moon and I think about like all the good things that happened for the day, and then like pick my favorite. I always do that. So it's kind of like starting and ending your day with meditation. But this week I've really done it more. Like those are like those tools you grab at when like times are rough. And like, I was just finding myself waking up and grabbing my phone first thing and then getting very negative. And so like what I've done is like, I don't even go to my phone now until like after I've, you know, looked at all of these things, you know, these meditations and stayed present. And then I pick up my phone because then I'm prepared for it, you know? And it's funny how much calmer I am than when I like, whatever comes, you know, and I have to deal with if it's an email or if it's something negative, you know, just kind of like slides off me at this point. So the last couple days have, you know, started off in my morning really positively because of that, and they've ended really positively because of that. So my husband's been so supportive through this YouTube stuff too, you know, like people ask that question a lot, and last night he was just like, babe, he was like, just do your videos. People like you. Just keep on doing what you do and do what you love to do, and don't worry about the rest, you know? Other people, you know, why can't other people say things to you that makes it sound so simple, you know? Like, you're like, God, I wish I had thought of that. So anyway, well, I hope you guys are having a wonderful morning or a wonderful evening or whatever you're doing, and I will see you again tomorrow. And don't forget, we're on borrowed time as it is. I love you guys. Good night.